Debate night in Michigan. You're going to hear the voice of Hayley Stevens tonight in a debate against Abdul El-Sayed. Abdul El-Sayed is the clear best choice for someone who likes this stream. But you get to experience a Michigander. Take a Michigander at this. All right, they're gonna load up into this, and then we'll do the debate.
Here's a quick review of the rules. Each question goes to each candidate for a 60-second response in an order determined by a drawing earlier in this process. A 30-second rebuttal will follow after each candidate has given their initial response. The only possible change to that would be for the final question. Depending on how much time is left in the program, we may eliminate the rebuttal or adjust the length of time to answer the question. There is no opening statement. There will be a 60-second closing. It is time for our first question in Debate Week in Michigan.
Abdul.
Again, welcome
Hayley
to both
Stevens.
of you. The first question will go to you, sir. The number one issue facing people from coast to coast and right here in Michigan is no surprise. It's inflation, it's affordability. Everything costs too much. You can't fix it all. But if you're elected to the U.S. Senate, tell me one proactive thing you would do to make Michiganders' lives more affordable. 60 seconds, sir.
I've been up and down my state, 110 different cities, 450 public events. No matter where I go, people say the same thing. I just can't afford to live here anymore. I am so worried about the price of groceries. I can't afford my gas. It's $5. I'm worried about getting sick because I can't afford my deductible. There's a number of things we need to do. Number one, we need to tackle healthcare by guaranteeing everybody healthcare without a deductible, a premium, or a copay through Medicare for all. Number two, we need to stand up.
First thing out of his mouth, first policy out of his mouth is Medicare for all. Amazing.
The monopolies and oligopolies that are picking our pockets. Number three, we need to stand up to increase wages. And that means standing with unions like the UAW and the nurses who've endorsed us. It means making sure that we are standing with Michiganders in their moments of crisis by making schools somewhere that our kids can go, by addressing the potholes that cause punctured tires every time you try to drive anywhere. But all of this has to happen by way.
That's a real problem because our winters rip up the roads. Like water seeps into the road, ice expands, the roads crack and crumble. So we need, like in Michigan, it's a big deal, the road thing. That's why it comes up a lot.
Of getting the corruption out of our politics. So long as corporations are buying politicians, we can't actually enact these solutions because they're getting the policies that they signed up for when they pay for their politicians.
Damn. You got my vote right there, buddy. Easy. And it only gets better.
Congresswoman Stevens, 60 seconds, please.
Well, thank you so much.
Did you hear that fucking entry?
For their politicians.
Congresswoman Stevens, 60 seconds, please.
Well, thank you so much, Wood TV, and to everyone across Michigan tuning in tonight. As your next United States Senator, I will run through anyone and anything to lower costs.
Okay, here's two things that you're going to not be able to not fucking notice during her periods. The way she speaks. Oh my God, I'm Hayley Stevens. Look, it's not quite like it is a Michigan accent, but it is a particular type of Michigan accent. She has the type of Michigan accent of that aunt that you prefer not to interact with at the function. She's like a little too handsy or something. She wants too many hugs and she doesn't make any, like the thing she brings is like the Jello at the, you know. She's not really an addition to the group. She's just a fucking energy vampire. And when she leaves earlier than everybody else was going to leave anyway, so that's good. It gets fun again. It's nice. Yeah. Wine aunt. She doesn't even bring good wine.
No tariff on groceries bill. My bill to lower your utility bill. Look, I'm the only person running for United States Senate in Michigan who is not a millionaire. I am not trying to sell a book or a podcast. I'm the only one on this stage who doesn't have a talent agent trying to pitch me for paid speeches. And unlike my opponent, I'm not running at the first mic or camera I see. Instead, my head is down doing the work for the people of Michigan who need the work to be done.
Dude, she keeps knocking into the podium. That is the second thing that you will notice. Constant knocking into the podium with her knuckles. It drives me nuts. I was only like half listening to this earlier while Sarah watched it. And boy, oh boy, A lot of knocking into the podiums. Yeah, you'll also notice she says nothing very often. I guess that's the third thing. Maybe the first. Nothing to be said. I'm real tough, and I am on here. He sold some books when he ran for governor, and before that, he's also like a doctor. He's made a little bit of money, but yeah.
We do not need a celebrity senator. We need a workforce. And as the most effective...
He's definitely not a celebrity, even locally. Until, like, now. He's kind of becoming somewhat popular, I would say.
Lawmaker for Michigan in the House of Representatives. If you want a fighter and an effective leader for our state, that's me.
Sorry,
we also don't need politicians bought off by corporations. In this race, you've probably seen ad after ad after ad. Not one of those ads was brought to you by the Congresswoman's campaign. All of them brought to you by corporate PACs and APAC, trying to buy a politician who's going to do their bidding instead of yours.
True.
That's been the story of our politics for far too long. The question is not whether or not you're a millionaire. The question is whether or not you are bowing down to billionaires. And for too long...
Facts.
In our politics, we've watched politicians beg for those dollars only to do that bidding when they actually get to office. That has been the story of my opponent. If you want politics is different, I'm the only one who's never taken a dime from a corporation.
Congresswoman, 30 seconds.
Oh my God. Dude, every time he opens his mouth, he eviscerates her. Continues to crush her, stays on track, so good.
Well, look, transparency is oh so important, and this is why I have released my tax returns. My opponent, Abdul, he said that transparency is key, but yet he hasn't released his tax returns. Abdul, you talk about getting money out of politics and putting money in people's pockets, but who is putting money in yours?
Why would you bring that up when you're funded by APAC? Why would you bring that up? He's just going to hammer it again.
You hiding.
Moving to our next question, it'll be first to you, Congresswoman, with a 60-second response. The Trump administration had been negotiating an agreement to end the conflict in Iran, but within the last hour, we are told that the United States military has launched a series of what they call powerful strikes after commercial ships were struck in the Strait of Hormuz. The question is, what should our policy be going forward with Iran? 60 seconds.
Well, our next United States Senator has one mission and one mission only, and that is to fight for the people of Michigan and represent the people of Michigan's interests. Donald Trump selling us out to this war in Iran that no one asked for, that is raising costs for every Michigander, is totally unacceptable.
Dude, I'm tired of this pivot that liberals make towards Donald Trump. It's like, yeah, we all know he's bad. I want you to do something better. Tell me why it's better. You have to sell us on why you're better, or the dum-dums are just going to keep winning. You must tell us. What is your policy? And she's like, well, I'm not Donald Trump.
But here's the deal. In terms of the goal that I have long fought for and pushed for in the United States House of Representatives and what I will work for in the United States Senate, we need long-term peace. Donald Trump has failed us. The Prime Minister of Israel has failed in that regard. And he was just coming after me on this today. Look, I am unafraid, Michigan. You are my North Star, and no illegal wars, no unilateral wars at our expense.
I have to play you a clip of Hayley Stevens on the subject of Israel. Okay, I have to play this clip.
I will continue to fight for the people of Israel. I will continue to fight for Israel's existence. Israel comes to me in my dreams. I see Israel's future, and I know that Israel will continue to exist for the Jewish people.
Yeah. Israel comes to me in my dreams. Okay, dude.
60 seconds.
I think it's worth asking why.
I didn't have it loaded up in the barrel.
Free Palestine!
I should have had it loaded up. When I typed in Hayley Israel in my dreams, it knew the video I wanted.
Free Palestine!
Damn, what a chant. I agree. 7.9 million. Are you saying the amount of money AIPAC spent on Hayley Stevens? Is that true? It's more? Wait. AIPAC, Hayley Stevens. Let's see. Whoa. It is more. Wow. That's so much money. That's a lot of money. $12.8 million. Jesus Christ. Can you imagine if AIPAC spent that money on anything other than trying to advocate for themselves to have the ability to murder children and families and annex land? Wouldn't that be fucking crazy?
We got into this war in the first place. There is one man who's been wanting this war fought, and that is the Prime Minister of Israel. And the reason that we've seen this war fought is because the impact of AIPAC in our politics. AIPAC has spent tens of millions of dollars in attack ads against me or ads lying about the Congresswoman's record. They clearly want one individual, and it's not me.
Yep.
And ask yourself why
True.
it is that we are paying $5 gas, why it is we can't seem to get out of this quagmire. It's because for too long, our foreign policy has been handed to us by the likes of the State of Israel and AIPAC, who has made sure that Democrats and Republicans are doing their bidding.
Oh my God, that is incredible.
Don't take that money. They are spending against me because they've called me the most dangerous candidate for the U.S.-Israel relationship, because maybe I don't want to waste our money fighting wars we don't need to spend, and instead I want that spent here to rebuild our schools here, to make sure we have functional infrastructure here in Michigan, to make sure that we have healthcare here in Michigan. And so long as our politicians continue to be bought off by AIPAC, do not be surprised when we fight wars that are in their best interest, to annex Israel, to annex Lebanon, or to do genocide in Gaza.
Congresswoman?
Damn! He hit everything! Explicit, fuck AIPAC, fuck this Israeli expansionist shit, fuck this genocide. Like, oh my God. That's my fucking senator right there. I'm not joking. This is the most represented I could ever be and have ever been. If he wins, I will finally be represented in the federal government. Like, and all of us will too. Like, all of us. He'll be like one of the first ones. Crazy.
30 seconds.
Well, Abdul, I would say no one is afraid of you. And in fact, the GOP is spending thousands of dollars to prop up your campaign because they think it...
I'm actually surprised she didn't pivot immediately into anti-Semitism, which means that the liberals might be learning that that's not going to work. Because usually there it's like, oh, you know, AIPAC funds this and, you know, senators, and he literally said that Israel guides and buys the influence of senators, and that's a classic. Oh, whoa, the Jews control everything, you're doing anti-Semitism. The fact that she didn't even fucking try means that that's not fucking working anymore, and they know it, and they know it makes them sound stupid as fuck. And so she can't, because she can't come across as any more explicitly pro-Israel than she already fucking has. Let's run it back.
I will continue to fight for the people of Israel. I will continue to fight for Israel's existence. Israel comes to me in my dreams.
Jesus.
I see Israel's future, and I know that Israel will continue to exist for the Jewish people.
Woo!
Free Palestine!
So, you know, thank you, Mr. Rossi. There's a difference in these candidates, and it's quite stark. It's obvious who is
Free Palestine!
authentic representation of her Israel dream. What the fuck did you...
I killed them all.
You keep trying... I can't play... George Lucas, don't even fucking... You don't never fucking give me a Disney property on this stream again, okay? You hear me? What are you fucking trying to do? Are you kidding me? I could play Donald Trump killed Charlie Kirk AI slop on this stream, and that would be nothing. But if we played 15 seconds of Star Wars, I would be smushed into the ground, okay? Disney's no joke. Stop it.
They will make it easier for Mike Rogers to win if you are the nominee. I do not plan to make anything easier for Republicans or Mike Rogers.
Dude, her people need to fucking tell her to stop doing that.
What I do is I take on tough fights for Michigan,
Holy
tough
fuck,
races,
dude.
and I win for us.
Ding, ding, ding.
30 seconds to wrap up this question.
Well, you know, if Congresswoman Stevens makes it or Mike Rogers wins, either way, Israel will win. AIPAC is perfectly fine with either of my two opponents because they know that they will have a comfortable, reliable vote in the U.S. Senate. If you want politics to work for you, if you want politics to rebuild your schools or fix your infrastructure or to invest in your health care, you have an alternative choice. We're running to get money out of politics, put money in your pocket, and pass Medicare for all. There's a reason that both Chuck Schumer and Donald Trump don't want to see me on the inside of the U.S. Senate because I'm a threat to politics as usual.
I fucking love
Moving
him.
on, but
I love
staying
him.
in the Middle East,
love
despite
him.
a ceasefire, the humanitarian crisis in
I love him. I don't want to taint Abdul's stuff with my direct involvement, but boy, would it be fun to have him on. It would just be, at this point, it would just be a glazed job, though. I have no questions for him. He keeps answering all of them perfectly.
Gaza continues and Israel maintains.
Honestly, maybe it would be, the questions I would have for him is, when you win, how do you get this stuff? Like, do you have a plan? Is there a broader thing?
That eliminating Hamas remains essential to its security. What, if any, is the role of the United States in trying to resolve this long-standing impasse? 60 seconds, sir.
Hamas? Okay, my answer would be incredibly extreme. I'm sure he's going to do a lot better here. My answer is we immediately cut all aid to Israel, and then every possible helping warship in the area goes and secures the Gazan beach. And then we give aid to those people as if it's the most important thing we could possibly do, and we ensure their safety as they rebuild, and we destroy apartheid by literally just nation building like we always do, and forcing them to hand over all the war criminals to the International Criminal Court, and we let the people decide how to do it. We uphold international law. We get rid of the settlers. They are international criminals. Like, we allow people to have their land back. We allow people to find their families. We help them and aid them for the years to come that it will take to repair. And not that you can repair, to allow this to scar over in a way that can't be pushed under the rug ever again. It has to be dealt with. So fucking ridiculous. Anyway, he's going to do a better job of it.
I'll tell you this. For a long time, every president has said that they believe in a two-state solution. The problem, of course, is that our policy has been to subsidize the Israeli military to the tune of billions of your tax dollars every single year. And their goal is to foreclose on the possibility of a Palestinian state. I believe in international law. I believe we have to hold every country to international law, which means to me that we need to stop funding the Israeli military in unilateral blank checks. That also includes Egypt. That includes Saudi Arabia. I also believe that we cannot continue to sell weapons to a country that is doing human rights abuses, genocide, and apartheid.
100%.
I also believe that we need to stop running cover for what has become a rogue state that is now trying to annex southern Lebanon.
Yep.
And I also believe that your money needs to be spent here. Because at the end of the day, the ultimate losers are you and me, the taxpayers who paid that money to provide good infrastructure, build schools, provide health care for our own kids, not to watch it get sent to buy bombs and tanks that end up annihilating other people and their children.
Fuck, man. That's a great answer. Run for president.
Congresswoman, 60 seconds.
The goal has to be long-term peace, and this is what I have long worked for.
How do you get long-term peace while upholding apartheid, Hayley?
Like, think about it for 2 seconds, guys who love apartheid. Guys who love the state of Israel. Think about for 2 seconds if you were on the other side of that wall and every single day you got shit on by the state of Israel and then they murdered your fucking family. Would you pick up a gun? You already do when they don't do that.
Alongside families who had relatives taken hostage by Hamas,
Shut
and
up.
I called for a permanent ceasefire. The difference between my opponent and myself on this issue is that I believe in a two-state solution. I can say that.
Disgusting. 2 states. Disgusting.
I believe that apartheid is situational to the state of Israel and that they should be able to have a special kind of it.
Hamas announces dissolution of Gaza governing body, so they're not even. So they say we aren't part of it. It's not like Israel fucking cares.
Israel has a right to peacefully
Never
exist alongside the people of Palestine and in Gaza. It is.
How can you peacefully exist beside people you subjugate, Hayley Stevens?
The answer is, of course you can't. You fucking can't.
Very clear that Mr. Netanyahu has not made us safer, has not brought us closer to peace, and he's endangered Jews here in America and around the world. This is why he was just trashing me today on CNN. I am not afraid of bullies. I am not afraid to stand up, and I continue to stand up for humanitarian aid, for the U.S. to work with the countries in the region and get aid into Gaza.
Sounds to me pretty obvious that Benjamin Netanyahu trashed you publicly, like, to try to throw this stink off. Like, he clearly does not want someone calling it a genocide, and clearly wants someone that wants a two-state solution. Clearly. Stop it. They fund you.
Have a fantastic day.
This you, bro? $12.8 million. And that's probably a little old. Yeah, this is from June. So 13 milli, dude. She's from Rochester Hills.
Rochester Hills.
Nepo baby ass.
30 seconds.
Look, I believe in equal rights to peace, dignity, and self-determination for Palestinians and Jewish Israelis alike. But the question I think the Congresswoman needs to answer is, why has she allowed $40 million of outside spending, the bulk of it coming from AIPAC, to come into this race? I don't think Benjamin Netanyahu is attacking her to actually attack her. I think he's attacking
40 million? Damn.
her to try and steer away the stink of how staunchly she stands for.
Maybe that's where I got the thought earlier. Maybe because I was passively listening to this. I was also not listening to it directly, but yeah. Maybe that's where I got the thought earlier.
Policy. So let's take that opportunity. Explain what you've given away for
I didn't pre-watch. I did half pre-watch though. Sarah was watching it over there in the living room, and I was in here writing, but so I probably absorbed some of it. I try not to though.
PAC support in this race.
30 seconds to wrap up.
No one owns my vote and no one owns my policies. Anyone who is contributing to my Senate campaign is doing so because of my proven record of fighting for Michigan. What I did when I served as chief of staff on the U.S. Auto Rescue, saving 200,000 Michigan jobs, and what I have done to get the CHIPS and Science Act passed.
They don't own my vote. They own a share of my vote, like stockholders.
And sign into law. What my opponent needs to answer is, why is the GOP spending thousands of dollars to prop up his campaign, saying that he will make Mike Rogers the next U.S. Senator?
All right, we're going to move on. As I told you,
Mike Rogers is a fucking fool if he thinks that he can beat Abdul al-Sayed on this. That's crazy. Like, I think it's because they have this. Hayley Stevens is not really the incumbent. Like, she's already an established Democrat. Maybe that's it. That's just wild.
before we started, we have a lot of viewer questions. Amber Kriska is my colleague, and she will be presenting those. You'll be able to see them there. You'll be able to hear them in the studio. If for any reason they are not clear, let me know, and I will repeat them. Here is Amber with our first viewer question.
A lot of questions on this next topic, bipartisanship. This is from Mark Newman. In the spirit of bipartisanship, talk specifically about how you will reach across the aisle. Name a particular project that you will champion that will require working with the opposing party.
Congresswoman, 60 seconds.
Well, I don't have to just talk about what I would do. I can certainly talk
Down with the two-party system.
about what I have done in terms of passing bipartisan legislation like the CHIPS and Science Act. But to answer our viewers' question very specifically, I have a plan to lessen Michigan and the United States' dependence on China, to lower cost and to create those good manufacturing jobs. That is day one legislation for me in the United States Senate.
What's that mean? What?
And look, there is a reason
Lower
why the Center
costs.
for Effective Lawmaking recognized me
what?
as the most effective lawmaker for Michigan in the Congress, because I
Stop hitting it! It sounds crazy.
fight for us, I win for us. Debbie Stabenow has endorsed my campaign. Our Attorney General Dana Nessel has endorsed me
Debbie Stabenow.
Holy shit.
for
big
United
get.
States Senate because of their fight for Michigan and their results for Michigan and them seeing the same in me. And so, yes, when we talk about manufacturing, when I bring in my supply chain bill to the floor, I feel really excited about getting other colleagues on the Republican side to join me.
Thank you. Move on. Dr. El-Sayed, 60 seconds.
I'm proud to have been endorsed by the UAW. And the reason that they've endorsed me is because they understand that I am a fighter for working people. I can tell you that there is bipartisan support already to blow up the USMCA, which has been a cancer on our manufacturing industry in Michigan and the industrial Midwest in general. That is a bill, of course, that my colleague actually voted for. And I think there's bipartisan consensus that has been a danger. We have an opportunity
What is the face she's making?
to rethink trade policy to make sure that we're protecting good union
I think I'm actually just fucked up. I think that's just how she looks. What the fuck? What is she doing?
jobs in this state
Am I
and
wrong?
in this country. And I think
No,
that
she's doing something with her face.
means rethinking how we do tariffs. Now, Donald Trump's version of tariffs is like chemotherapy, but you give the patient all the chemo at the same time. I think there's an opportunity where you pace it out. You think critically about how you protect critical budding manufacturing industry, and that you are transparent with your trading partners about how you do this in an effort to build long-term sustainable manufacturing jobs. I've heard a lot from Republicans saying that they want to bring manufacturing jobs back. Let's roll up our sleeves, work together to get that done.
30 seconds, Congresswoman.
Well, NAFTA was a crap deal, and it hurt a lot of Michiganders. And what is also hurting us right now are Donald Trump's reckless policies that Mike Rogers has said he wants to rubber stamp. There's a reason why the Gordie Howe Bridge isn't open, and Mike Rogers is rubber stamping.
Dude, Sarah was watching some guys do a bingo on this earlier, and Gordie Howe Bridge was on there. It's been a thing. There's two bridges. They go, we got to give you Michigan. Hold on, I see which way it is for you.
There's bridges over here next to Detroit. They go over to Canada, okay? And when you go to Canada, you can take one. Anyway,
a family owns the Ambassador Bridge. It's like just a billionaire. They just own the bridge, and so the people are trying to own another bridge, like the state. And of course, the guy who owns the one bridge is like, I don't like competition, so he's trying to make that not happen. They're trying to have fewer bridges. Yeah. This is actually not the first bridge problem we have in Michigan, because we are a peninsula and we have lots of water. There's bridges in Bay City that are being talked about. Pretty much the same exact problem. They put a fucking toll bridge in a small community that needs to use the bridge every day. Just some fucking greed lord. So yeah, big problem. Big Michigan top politics.
That. There's a reason why a trade war is going on with Canada. Small businesses all over Michigan losing revenues as a result. I thought he was going to take on China. I've got the bill to do that and to lessen our dependence and grow manufacturing jobs. I've done it once before, and I'll do it again as Michigan's next senator.
I think she's been told she has to come out tough and strong or some shit. I don't know.
And the reason that the big corporations always get their way when it comes to free trade is because they buy off politicians to do their bidding. Everybody knew USMCA was not going to solve the problem. Everybody knew it. And yet, they bought the votes to get their way. And now you can buy a cheap TV, but you can't find a manufacturing job that can actually feed your family. That is the devastation of corporate-bought politics. As the only candidate who's never taken a dime from a corporation, you know I'm going to stand up for you. It's the reason. Again, the UAW, nurses, AFT have all supported us, because when it comes to the choice between working people and corporations, I will pick people every time.
Yeah, and it's the only reason you haven't released your tax returns.
All right,
and 15 labor unions are endorsing me. Thank you. I yield, Rick. Yes.
Amber has another. Sure, go
Can I
ahead.
respond?
Quickly, very quickly.
Yeah, I took the same extension that the Congresswoman took every
I'm
single
talking
year
about
she
your
was in
tax returns,
Congress.
Abdul.
Every
You haven't
single year.
released your tax
All right,
returns.
we're
You
gonna
don't
move-
need an
I
extension
think
to do
there's
that.
there's a process
Who's putting
there.
money in your pocketbook?
We're going to move forward with another viewer question.
a fact.
Amber is here with another viewer who wants to know where the two of you stand.
Is the Democratic Party shifting? Joe Beelan has our next question. He says, many of my friends who are Democrats are very concerned with the way the party has shifted so far left that the party no longer accurately represents their views. Will you continue on the current party path, or will you pursue your own path of leadership?
60 seconds for you.
I'll pursue my own path of leadership, educated by the countless days that I spent talking to Michiganders across 110 cities, 450 public events. Now, here's the thing about it. There is no left or right. Most people out there aren't asking, where do I fit on the left-right spectrum?
Yes.
They're asking, can I afford my groceries when I go grocery shopping? What's
Class.
going to happen if I get sick or my kid gets sick?
Class consciousness.
Why does my kid's school look the same way it did 30 years ago
He's
when I went
alting.
there? And the answer to that question is that for too long, politicians on both sides of the aisle have taken the same corporate corrupting money.
Yes.
I'm the only candidate on the stage, frankly, the only candidate running for U.S. Senate who's never taken a dime of that money, which is why the real issue is about the people locking you out of your politics versus the people being locked out. And I will stand always on the side of the folks who are locked out. That is a pathway in our politics that I think all of us can get behind. It's not red. It's not blue. It's not Democrat. It's not Republican. It's American. Government of the people, by the people, and for the people. That is where our politics needs to go. And in the next 250 years, when we get the chart where we go from here, I hope we remember that that's what we need.
60 seconds.
I will run through anything and anyone to deliver for Michigan. We've got to lower the cost. Look, there are many who want to...
Why is she talking like a fucking fullback, dude? I'm gonna run through them. I'm gonna smash through them. Anything and anyone. Gotta do it to him.
Israel comes to me in my dreams.
Make this run for U.S. Senate about Washington, D.C. insider deals and what's going on with our party leadership. Friends, this is about the future of Michigan. Who is going to be the workhorse? Look, I've got
Workhorse.
Free Palestine!
Mask off, cash out. All right, thanks for following. Thank you, Thrice.
receipts. I have passed big pieces of legislation.
Why does she look like an SNL actor? You know what? That's kind of what she does look like. She does look like she's doing a politician bit. It almost, yeah, it would be funny.
I passed my first bill to secure STEM grants for our K through 12 schools in my first year in Congress. I am ready to hit the ground for our schools, for our educators, and to stand up to the corruption and the abuse of power that we see coming down from Donald Trump. If you
Jesus Christ, her demeanor just is bad. I don't like her. I don't think she comes across as someone who can actually be anything more than pushed around, to be honest. I don't know why she's like, she's probably told that she doesn't have, like, she doesn't project strength or anything, and she was told to be, like, fucking, you know, demonstrative, and, like, it's just really not in her to, like, she doesn't have that dog in her to do the thing that she's saying she does. Her vibes are ass. They're APAC vibes.
want to stop Trump, I'm your gal.
The question was,
If you want to stop Trump, I'm your gal. There's smudge. Like, yeah, I crushed it. Fucking. I fucking nailed it, dude.
about the direction of the party. Is it shifting?
Dude, he's smiling. Oh my fucking god, dude. What the fuck am I seeing? I did not edit this. What the fuck? It's crazy. That looks fucking crazy. I cannot believe this.
I'll tell you
30
this.
seconds.
It won't shift if we continue to elect leaders who take money from the same corporations who have broken with the interests of the American public.
True.
Chuck Schumer desperately wants one of us to be the next senator, and it's not me. So if you want your politics dictated you by AIPAC or Chuck Schumer, then I'm not your guy. I think we need to go back to the idea of government of the people, by the people, and for the people. $40 million of spending in this race. $40 million. I want you to think about what that means. That's money that buys something on the back end. So if you elect the person who took that money, don't be surprised when they betray you.
Oof. That sucks, man.
30
Except for,
seconds.
again,
She's
I
getting
have
destroyed.
the receipts as the most effective lawmaker for Michigan. I'm not trying to go viral or get a good tweet out, all right?
Get a good
If you
tweet.
check the facts, the claims that my opponent has made about eradicating medical debt are untrue. If that's all you got to run on, Abdul, well, then good for you.
Damn, she's getting her ass whooped. Has she never had a back and forth of insults with anyone ever?
It's worth noting here that over the weekend,
Terrible.
a third candidate that was in this
You know what? Underrated quality that the left actually has over liberals is our insult game. Way funnier. We are so much better. Hilarious group, us lefties.
race dropped out. That leaves the two of you. One of you will face Republican Mike Rogers, as you both talked about a little bit here. Congresswoman Stevens, you've been endorsed, as you said, by former Senator Debbie Stabenow, former Governor Jennifer Granholm, and as you said, by the Attorney General. You have, Mr. El Sayed, been endorsed by Bernie Sanders, Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and a number of others.
Nice.
I went to both of your websites, long list of endorsements. Is this race not only about control of the U.S. Senate, which it may well come down to, but is this race also for control of the Democratic Party? Is
little
there
bit.
something else on the line here? 60 seconds.
Well, I'm not going to let the pundits or the prognosticators make any such determination. For me, this has always been about Michigan. I am the daughter of small business owners who met at Oakland University. My dad is 81 years old and still driving his Ford F-150 with the word Stevens Landscaping on the side. And he's
Cool. Why does this matter? I hate when politicians do this shit. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't give a fuck. The fact that you're telling me anything about this is annoying. I don't know. If someone asks you a question like, hey, tell us something about yourself, that's one thing, but oh my God.
Drinking his water.
I hate this.
Look, it's that value of hard work, that ethos that I grew up with that has always long motivated my approach to public service. And the reason I have put up my hand to run for U.S. Senate is because of what I'm hearing from Michiganders, because a fully paralyzed veteran reached out to me and asked me if...
How? A fully paralyzed veteran reached out to you? I'm just kidding. You lying.
he was still going to get his benefit check because he saw Elon Musk walking around with a chainsaw. I have stood up. I have called these guys out, and I am stopping these abuses of power.
Ableism. I'll you know what? I'll soak that one because the joke was fucking worth it. Okay, that was funny. That was funnier than it was offensive, so it's fine.
And you better believe from the United States Senate, Michigan's voice will be heard with me.
60 seconds.
Michigan's voice. And it's just her. Chat, you ready for Michigan's voice?
Israel comes to me in my dreams.
It really is a great clip. That's a good one.
Intended to run for office. I want to be a doctor. I want to be a doctor because I could go 15 hours to my family's native Egypt or 15 minutes from where I grew up. I went to medical school only to realize that our healthcare system was, in fact, part of the problem, not part of the solution. I went into public health. We eliminated medical debt. Yes, we eliminated
Free Palestine!
Medical debt. We put glasses on kids' faces. We took on corporate polluters. We provided free health insurance.
Free Palestine!
He's trying to tell you his story.
I want the Michigan fist. 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 I want you all to unite. Fist. Fist. I want the Michigan fist. Fist. I want you to punch a hole in the wall of resistance. Fist. Fist. I want that Michigan fist. Fist. Fist.
Fist him. Fist him.
We got
Fist
points to
him.
put on the board.
Sometimes Cory Booker just wants to be gaped, okay? What do you want me... You want me to fucking shame him for that? I won't do it. I won't do it.
Did the things that for too long government fails to do under leadership that is bought off by corporations. I'm running to do three things. Get money out of politics, put money in your pocket, pass Medicare for all. I'm not doing this because of some direction of a party. I'm doing this because of the Michiganders that I've gotten to see. A woman who had cancer 3 times and happened to managed to hold on to her life savings until the 3rd one. That's a woman who lost her entire life savings because her kid got cancer and died. People who have come and shared their burden with us. If we continue to allow corporations to buy our politicians, do not be surprised when everything gets more expensive and your job gets further out of reach. That is the politics that is corrupting now, and we need different.
30 seconds.
Well,
I'm going to be honest, a lot of leftism is now curling back around to what may sound a little conservative to people sometimes, because really what a lot of leftists are down for is like getting closer to Earth and nature in a way that is like, you know, more sustainable and good for the climate, good for community, like talking about how we organize our spaces, talking about how we use crops and getting people to put solar up and use wind and learn to fucking, you know, farm some vegetables for yourself. You know, these are all really great things. To some extent, it's a little bit conservative coded. It's like, you know how your parents were like, oh, when you get older, you're going to get more right wing or whatever. But really it's like, no, we're going to value the good stuff that is actually good about this experience and not the bad stuff. And so we can change the bad stuff. We could just change it. The difference between this group, like the millennials, essentially, kind of around the world, is that we have like this ability to look at something and go, we should fix that. And it's like it's a very proactive approach, and nobody else wants to deal with that. Like, we're all like, oh, we should talk about our feelings and express ourselves and do science. And like, it's kind of, I get it. It's a little dorky, I suppose. Like, Hank Green is one of us. This is what I'm talking about. Anyway, I can't imagine a future that is good with these AI tech bro, billionaire, oligarch funded people making decisions. You're going to have drones murdering babies. They are right now, but I mean, they're going to do it more. It's going to be normalized for all of us.
Transparency remains really key here. You can see my tax returns. I've made them public. Again, I call on my opponent to do the same, because we do need to know who's putting money in your pocket, particularly if you have a talent agency getting you paid speeches. I've been busy doing the work for Michiganders. Period. Full stop. Power Outage Relief Act. We're still dealing with that. Small businesses losing their revenues. We got to do supply.
Cool. I'm really glad. Keep it up. Keep doing that in the exact spot you are. You are bad for the Senate position, buddy. How dare he do speeches? No.
Chain security. I've got a bill for that. I am ready to go for us, Michigan, on day one.
30 seconds to wrap.
Let's talk about power outages. People sleeping in dark rooms without electricity for the 4th straight day. My opponent's taking $37,500 from DTE. Ask yourself what that buys. Our politics have been deeply and profoundly corrupted by corporate money, and I want to get money out. You want to talk about transparency? There's a group
he keeps on message, and he hits her point. Crushing!
Center Forward that happened to pay for a flight for the Congresswoman and her mother to Portugal. I want to understand what she promised them in return. You want to talk about transparency? Why are there $40 million flowing into our politics right now in support of my...
Boom! Roasted. Got your ass, bitch.
Got your ass.
My opponent.
Yeah. Well, and again, I have the receipts and I have the bill to stand up.
You have fucking $40 million in receipts from AIPAC. Yeah. Why?
Utility companies at the lower rates.
Explain the receipts.
So, yes, I've got the multiple bills.
I'll give you a chance. When
You're
we
not
come back
explaining
in a
them.
moment. But first, we're going to take a break. And
Yeah,
when we
I'm
come
gonna
back
skip
in
that
90
fucking
seconds,
break,
90 seconds, we're going to talk about detention facilities. Both of you on some, I'm going to set some time aside, and you can both address those grievances. But for now, I want to continue with the questions that we have. Many people have been critical of Immigration Customs Enforcement, ICE, in the past months regarding their methods, their detention facilities. Both of you on some level have had some questions, problems with and about ICE. If
There's only one answer I accept here.
not ICE, how would we, how should we, how could we deal with the estimated millions
Only
of people
one.
in this country that didn't come through the proper channels, that we don't necessarily know who they are or where they are? I'm going to start with you, Dr. El-Sayed. With 60 seconds, what do we do with that situation?
So I just want to be clear. I went to Minneapolis at the height of Project Metro Surge. I watched as our government laid siege to a city in our own country. It was awful to see. ICE is not about immigration. ICE is not about the southern border. I was on nearly the northern border. ICE is about normalizing paramilitary force on our streets.
Facts.
I've been clear that you can't reform ICE. You can't retrain ICE. You have to abolish ICE.
Woo!
Now, that's not to say that we can't secure our border. That's not even to say that we can't actually enforce our immigration policy. That is to say that we shouldn't do it at the edge of destroying our Constitution itself. ICE is a new agency. It is younger than I am. We have done this in the past in a way that respects the basic rule of law. And if we're serious about actually having a pathway in this country to a humane, thoughtful, common sense immigration
United
system,
States
we've got to invest in the
Senator.
core infrastructure that offers a pathway to citizenship for people who built a life here, that lived here peaceably, and contributed to our society. I think
Would be the highest ranking Democratic Socialist in general, right? Like, I think this is the high, like is there a U.S. Senator who's on abolish ICE shit right now?
that's the responsibility we need to go to while keeping our southern border safe and secure.
What would we do about
I know he's not DSA, but I mean, he is the same.
ICE in
Well,
60
he's better, really.
seconds?
Yeah, well, before I jump to the bipartisan border security bill that I do support, it must be said very clearly that Donald Trump's ICE is completely out of control, and it is an abuse of power. ICE agents from top to bottom that have committed crimes have to be held accountable, and I've got the legislation to do it. I called on Kristi Noem to go. She was removed, but no reforms took place. They took $70 billion of our taxpayer money into an ICE slush fund. This has been a failure. a temple in my district was blown up. It wasn't ICE that stood up. It was state and local law enforcement. That money needs to be redirected to those law enforcement agencies that are responsible for our safety and security. Donald Trump has abused his power. He has failed the American
got your ass, bitch.
You join my local Democratic Socialist. Apparently, I don't have to go all the way to Seattle for it. There's one in my city. There's probably one very nearby. Join your local DSA. Yeah, she loves cops, dude. She loves cops. Join your local DSA. Become a member. Join one of the discussions there. Maybe you will be the next Abdul El-Sayed, chat.
People, and we need change.
30 seconds for you.
Look, I appreciate the change of tone on ICE. I mean, my colleague voted to thank ICE and increase their budget. And
Got her
also,
ass.
took money from people who run ICE.
She did vote to thank ICE. What an insane thing. Thank you, ICE.
Contracts. That to me seems very different than what we're hearing now. I've been deeply clear. I don't take money from corporations. I don't take money from ICE contractors. Which is why I can say with a clear voice, we need to abolish ICE. Woo! I think we need clarity about where folks' money comes from and what trades they make on the policy on the back end to bob and weave on these issues when these are issues of life and death.
30 seconds to wrap this.
Well, it's really unfortunate yet again to see my opponent pursuing Republican tactics. There was a bill on the House floor to condemn an anti-Semitic terrorist attack that in Boulder, Colorado, that killed an individual and injured a Holocaust survivor.
What? What?
Instead of bringing us together, Republicans put in a cynical point about thanking ICE. I am always going to stand up to violence, and I just wish my opponent wouldn't pursue the cynical approaches of Republicans when we do need to be united.
Amber's.
I see. So you were like, I have to join the anti-Semitism is bad, guys, for real. I think anti-Semitism is bad. For real. Guys, we have to put this into law that I am writing down that I think anti-Semitism is bad. Instead of legislation that would prevent anti-Semitism, like, you know what I mean? This is liberal shit. Guys, I think anti-Semitism is bad. Will I make any policy that actually prevents anti-Semitism? Like, I don't know, not funding the state of Israel to commit genocide with the fucking Star of David on their national flag. You know, I think I think some people are going to take the wrong impression away from I've been murdered by Israel. I could see how someone whose entire lineage has been murdered for 70 years, I could see how they could be like, the Jews are killing me, actually, and not make a distinction between Israel and the Jews, because the fucking Star of David is their national flag. It's their symbol. They do it on purpose. It is intentional. Like, why? Why do you think this is reasonable? I don't know. Liberals are crazy to me. I do not understand them at all.
Back with us with
God, I cannot imagine. I'm so glad I wasn't a leftist like 30 years ago. I wasn't alive. Well, I was alive 30 years ago, but I mean, like, I guess 40 years ago there. I'm so glad I was too young to be a leftist when I was a child. Although I did ask why money exists when I was like 5, maybe 6. I remember why. I have a distinct memory of being like, Mom, why is money a thing? And she's like, you know what? I don't know. I was like, why doesn't everyone just have money so they can go get groceries? And she's like, I don't know. I remember asking that. And then that was it. That was the whole thing. That was my deconstruction.
Another viewer question. Let's do this question, and then we're going to come back to some of this in just a moment. Let's do the question.
Question me.
Childcare is one of the biggest expenses for the average Michigan family. Jacob Exline, who is an early childhood educator, wants to know, what would your plan be to make childcare more affordable for families as a U.S. Senator?
Congresswoman,
Yes.
60 seconds.
I have long championed affordable child care here in Michigan and across this country.
You say the word affordable necessity to me, I'm fucking done with you, okay? You say affordable healthcare, housing, affordable education, affordable childcare. No, free.
And in fact, I was on the phone with the daycare centers and the families when COVID hit, fighting to secure dollars to make sure that daycare centers and the people who work in them stay open and employed. Look, the costs continue to go up. The way in which we can lower daycare costs are through the expansion of CDBG funding and grants that match what our great governor here in Michigan did.
I don't have a child on purpose, kind of for, well, I don't want a child, but also this reason. The average cost of daycare in Michigan ranges from $800 to $1,500 per month, which is what I thought. That's more than like mortgages around here, guys. That's more than a brand new car. I mean, that's crazy. And not only that, I think like because it's such a necessity, two things happen. You can inherently drive the cost of childcare up for children, but also it really does cost a lot of money to take care of children, and these people who do it well should be paid for. It could easily be a government job with oversight and standards, and now people wouldn't have to worry about who the fuck is hanging out with their kids. We could know that it's essentially an education system. It's essentially a place where everyone gets to be safe. Your communities run it. They're local people. It's democratized. Like, this would be good. That's more than my rent. Oh man, that's the I've paid that much for rent in big cities, but I do not have to pay that much now. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Actually went to a daycare center with her in Troy, Michigan to celebrate some of the programs that she put into place. And the other deal that we need is we need paid family leave. I'm a champion for paid family leave. We need to secure the ability for new
paid family leave for who? Like people on salary?
mothers and fathers to have that precious time with their newborns. That's another critical step. I've got the record.
What do you like file for it? I don't even know. Is your job? I guess you would have to put in labor reforms to ensure that your job can't fire you, and then who compensates for that? I love paid family leave, but I never trust a liberal's idea about it. I always think that they're going to fuck us.
60 seconds, sir.
I'm a father of two daughters, and the child care for our youngest, who's 3 years old, is one of the most expensive items on our entire budget. It is insane how much people have to pay. And for a lot of folks, this has become a gender...
All of your rent prices are making me want to puke. That's crazy. We would both have to work so much more. We would both have to have second jobs. For sure. If we wanted to have like any other stuff going on. Like we wouldn't be able to have money for, anything like emergencies.
Justice issue. It's forcing people out of the workforce, predominantly women, and it's holding them behind from lucrative opportunities that they can use to advance their family in the first place. I think we need to make childcare free. 100% free. Now, how do we pay for that?
Facts.
We pay for that by taxing billionaires their wealth.
Woo!
We could render $4.6 trillion if we were willing to put, let's say, an 8% tax on billionaire wealth.
4.6 trillion on an 8% tax on wealth? What if we do 90? What if we do 90%? What if we do more?
This is not that difficult, but it's a function of our values. Do we care enough to make sure that women have access to the workplace, that children have a safe, healthy place to go?
Yeah.
Or would we rather be the kind of economy that allows billionaires to make a second billion, a third billion, a trillion, maybe like Elon Musk? That is the question we need to answer. And ultimately, so long as we allow billionaires and corporations to buy politicians, we're going to get the wrong answer.
Man, I love that he's sort of also just he's on his bullshit and he's letting other people know, like, hey, this is important, and if you've never watched anything about politics and you're watching this debate for the first time, you're just like some person on the couch today that's interested in this, man, you're going to learn some stuff about the policy positions that I think are very good and what people want to hear and need to hear, because it's the actual solution to the problem. It's so crazy. Like, if you really think about how this works, all that has ever been happening ever, like Mark's heads, everybody, is that people with money are trying to make sure that they control more things than they should, or resources. Like, they're just trying to control stuff. It's all what it is. And every single time we organize, people that are outside of these pockets of like, oil barons or fucking real estate guys or fucking, Kalshi market operatives or, pump and dump scam artists, all those are the president. The situation becomes, threatening for that group of people who have all these resources. Interpersonally, it's a class-based thing, but like on a broader scale, there's this like disgusting constant cycle of big strong man collect much thing. he must be in charge of us. That we need to break out of this. This is like, I think really it's hard to, this is harder to do in a secular society, and why they keep people religious so long.
3 seconds.
This Senate seat is considered a toss-up for November, a 50-50 chance that it will go Democrat or Republican. The one thing that I do is I win tough races. I flipped
You're not
a
winning
congressional
shit,
seat that was
dude.
long
Oh my
held by a
God.
Republican, blue in 2018, and I held it when Donald Trump was on the ballot. Living my...
I'm going to be honest. If you went into politics as a Democrat in 2018 and you were the one on the ballot, you're going to win, right? Like, pretty much that's what's just going to happen.
My values, living the values to make change and improve people's lives. Mike Rogers, he's not going to do a thing to impact child care and make it more affordable for families.
30 seconds.
Look, if you want somebody who's electable, the last 3 polls in a row show that I'm the most electable Democrat in November. Why?
Facts.
Because you got to actually fight for something. It's not enough to offer people 2 options that kind of look the same on the issues that matter the most.
True.
If you're taking money from corporations, the same corporations, Democrat or Republican, how different are things really going to be? I'm offering an opportunity to actually invest in what we want to fight for healthcare that is guaranteed, for an economy that works for working people, for finally getting corporate money out of our politics.
Well, with all due respect to Abdul, I think
Incredible.
he looks a lot like more like Mike Rogers than I do.
All right. So we...
What? I didn't see this. Look at his fucking
He
reaction.
looks a lot like more like Mike Rogers than I do.
All right. So...
He's like, what the fuck? Cool, Hayley Stevens. So this is an updated, pretty recent poll on who they think won the debate today. And that's pretty much what I thought it would be. I think this is what the election's going to look very similar to. I would not be surprised with an upper 50s percentage, like 55, 56, 57. If we got to 60%, that'd be fucking crazy in the primary. Wait, hold on. There's some new information coming in.
Israel comes to me in my dreams.
All right. Having heard that, I have reconsidered. I'm still voting for Abdul.
So we have apparently scratched the surface on a couple of differences between...
I think the Mike Rogers thing is like he's a man.
Free Palestine!
Dude, is that all I have to do to get quarters thrown at me? Hell yeah. Thank you, Thrace.
the two of you. And this is not scripted, and this is not something that's planned, and the people in the control room are about to pull their hair out. But I want to give you 30 seconds, and I want to give you 30 seconds to pursue whatever this is that's going on here. Obviously, you've got a question about some of the money in her campaign.
God,
you've
you're
got a question about some...
Do you want to be my little Tootsie Roll?
Guys.
God, you're cute. Do you want to be my little Tootsie Roll?
I don't require being Tootsie Rolled. Oh my god, Darwin finally left from underneath the desk. Hell yeah. That one gives you shivers. You don't want to be his little Tootsie Roll?
Boom! Roasted! Got your ass, bitch!
Dude, every time we pause, unfortunately, he's mogging.
Some of the money in his pocket.
Yeah.
30 seconds. Go.
Well, look, my opponent wants to make this race about lies and attacking my integrity and the work that I've done for the people of Michigan. Look, I was the person from Michigan on the team working on President Obama's auto rescue.
Barack Obama? Oh, we do know that the left loves Barack Obama.
I have a proven track record that I am proud of fighting for this state, standing up to special interests, and I have 15 labor unions standing alongside me in this fight, and some other proven individuals as well. So can we stop the lies, and can we get the transparency out that my opponents long talked about?
Can we get a little transparency? I'm going to be honest with you, and it's not necessarily her fault, but maybe it's a little bit her fault. I can't really, hear her. I can hear her. I can't listen to her for very long. I start to fucking focus on just how she sounds, and that's rough, you know? That's a rough thing. She's too Michigan pilled. She needs to fucking chill on the Coney dogs, which I would not do, personally. I had to move away and come back to Michigan to get rid of my accent, so maybe that's what she should do. Misogyny, no. Michigansery, or Michigandiness. Yeah. No, anyone that sounds like this drives me nuts. It's really, it's my fault. Yeah. Michigan has a problem with accents for their whites. I'll say it.
Love to stop the lies that are being told on TV by organizations like the Center for Democratic Priorities, which, by the way, didn't exist until it started to run ads for my opponent. Like the United Democratic Progressives, which, by the way, is a front for AIPAC. Like Center Forward, which bought airline tickets for my opponent, for her mother and herself to go to Portugal. I don't know what they talked about. I don't know what they did. So if we want to talk about lies, I think it's really important for us to understand who's paying for them and what was said on the back end to allow them to be told. Because $40 million, it doesn't come for free.
So is the GOP...
I'm glad we got that all cleared up. So I'll get back to these questions.
Dude, I really think she had to speak over him in that point. I think she.
I'm going to talk about data centers for a minute. I'm going to give you a premise. You can agree with it. You can disagree with it. But here's my premise.
Be like, okay, sorry.
Data centers are going to be built somewhere no matter what happens in Michigan. So the question is, are we better off to have some of those centers here?
Did you say data centers no matter what?
Or should they be actively opposed, as they have been by many citizens in meeting
Actively
after
opposed.
meeting across the state? And it's first to you, sir.
Opposed.
60 seconds.
They're pointless.
Look, right now people are scared to death that there's going to be this gigantic data center put in their backyard so people like Mike Rogers can make gender-affirming videos about how buff they really are. I think we have to be serious about the fact that these pose real dangers, and the people who are pushing them are the richest, most powerful corporate CEOs in the...
What the fuck was that noise?
And the people who are pushing them are the richest, most powerful...
Did she snort, dude? What?
...corporate CEOs in the history of our economy. And so we've put forward a terms of engagement. We want to make sure that if you want to put a data center anywhere, that it's going to meet the following terms: all union labor, no raising our utility rates, increasing our utility reliability, not touching our water, and then there has to be a community benefits agreement that's negotiated in good faith with all the money put up in escrow, and this has to be fully enforceable, including shutting down the data center. That has to be passed at the federal level. Now, here's the thing. Big AI...
I'm fine with his, here's my oversight on AI thing. I fucking don't want any AI data centers anywhere. They're fucking pointless. Bunny Ree said say something nice. About who? Hayley Stevens? About Abdul? About you guys? Yeah, I'm tired of AI as inevitable too. It's not. It isn't. Not the way we're fucking using it. Data centers are poopy. That said, I like his rhetoric in general. I'll back up just a little bit.
Including shutting down the data center. That has to be passed at the federal level. Now, here's the thing. Big AI has huge super PACs that guess who they're funding, not me, the other person on this stage.
Yep.
And so the question for us is, are we willing to actually do what it takes to protect people from these risks? Or are we going to let them roll us, just like corporations continue to roll our politicians over and over again?
Congresswoman, 60 seconds.
Yeah, well,
Facts.
look, the citizens need to be heard on innovation and data centers. And it is up to federal lawmakers to secure the tax code so that these gajillionaire enterprises are paying their fair share.
That's not what I mean, I am worried about that, but that's like, I don't want you just to allow them and then be like, do what you want and pay your fair share. I want all the oversight and being able to shut them fucking down. If a community does decide they want to vote for this thing, they should be able to fucking undo that, definitely. And they should be benefiting from it directly. If there's a way to do the data center thing that they're trying to do efficiently, which I doubt, then someone can fucking try to do that shit. There's no fucking reason to do, and like, it's ecologically ridiculous. They're just trying to pump the numbers for AI to show investors to try to keep this bubble from popping. Like, it's disgusting. It's ruining people's livelihoods. Fuck off.
Is unacceptable that rates would go up as a result. I want to force these data centers to pay the utility bills and to pay water bills for folks. And look, I also want to...
Yeah, you shouldn't have a fucking energy bill if a data center's in your goddamn area. That's for sure. Holy shit.
Secure Michigan being on the forefront of innovation and manufacturing. I visited hundreds of manufacturing shop floors. They are using this technology. We want the jobs. We just can't afford to force the workers to pay for it. And look, yet again...
Yeah, if there were like 100% solar or something and you knew that they weren't pumping out some kind of crazy exhaust and they weren't sucking up all the fucking water, like all things they need to fucking do anyway right now, I don't even know. Did you guys, like, Elon Musk has said, what if we just put these fucking things in space? And that is not how fucking heat dissipates. It won't work. It's going to be bad. None of it will work. All of it's bad.
My opponent takes jabs, except for he won't denounce the GOP when they are funding his operation and his candidacy. And
Isn't that a jab?
now bragging about the false polls that they're putting out that he's going to be the best one to beat Mike Rogers. That's me.
30 seconds.
I'm sure everybody out there thinks that Republicans really want me to win this race. Sure. The real question is, how much money has the AI industry spent in this race? And why are they spending it?
Millions.
And whose vote are they buying? And what does that mean for you? If you want a future where AI is fully unregulated, where we lose, 50% of our jobs, where a data center sits in your backyard, you have a choice. If you want someone who's going to stand up for the people against the corporations, you also have a choice. Notice, none of the answers actually speak to any of the points I'm making about the money that is being spent in these races to corrupt our politics.
30
because
seconds.
I have receipts.
I have receipts. Dude, I can't.
People who are watching this need to evaluate who is running for U.S. Senate, the chief lawmaking role in this country that has the record, that is not a show horse, that is not, I am not someone trying to go viral and shouting into a bullhorn about problems.
Jesus Christ. This website got launched today. Isn't that interesting? HayleyFacts.com.
And in the United States Congress, I will continue to fight for the people of Israel. I will continue to fight for Israel's existence. Israel comes to me in my dreams. I see Israel's
Make it
future.
stop. Donate. More Hayley? Oh, shit.
I will continue
More.
to fight.
Oh, shit. Maximum?
I will continue to fight.
This is the
for
maximum.
Israel's existence.
Paid for by Abdul for U.S. Senate. If you guys want to, if you guys are liking what you're hearing and you just want to support one of the best candidates we have for U.S. Senate, even if you're not in Michigan, you can donate to Abdul al-Sayed's candidacy. You can do so if you would like to. I would appreciate it since we are in Michigan and he would be the first representative that ever has actually represented my politics in my life. Sounds crazy.
Delivering. That is not something my opponent can say. He's great at attacking, and he's great at covering up that his father-in-law is running his super PAC that's spending millions of dollars for him.
All right. We're going to move on to a question that you have both addressed because these go together. And this one will go first to you, Congresswoman. We hear a lot about AI, artificial intelligence, hear about it every day. I doubt that most of us have a really good grasp of exactly what it is, what role it's going to play in our lives going forward, what role
Boomer ass fucking question.
the government has in putting guardrails on technology that few fully understand, that could be a positive game changer that is evolving all of the time and is displacing workers already. We know that that's
Who wrote
happening.
these questions?
So should the government jump in the business of regulating AI?
Of course. What? Yes.
60 seconds.
Yeah, and look, Abdul is lying. Again, he has a super PAC that is run by his father-in-law that has spent millions of dollars on his behalf, and the GOP is also spending money. It's good to know that his father-in-law isn't involved with AI. Here is the deal. I passed my first AI bill into law in 2020, all right, in my first term in Congress. I have supported resources to invest.
Dude, the way he looks here is like, I'm just ready to strike. I got what I'm going to say.
Protect in the privacy for consumers and to stand up for the little guy, particularly small businesses who need equitable investment, black-owned businesses like
What does
ones
this have
I
to do with the
visit
question?
on the regular, who oftentimes are getting the short end of the stick, and they certainly are from Donald Trump.
What?
I want to make sure that resources
What is this fucking
are coming
answer?
into our communities and that jobs are protected and maintained. We can do
What
this
is
here in
this?
Michigan.
What do you mean jobs are protected or maintained? They're just going to be like, we don't need the job. What do you going to force them to keep a job around? Stop thinking about jobs. Ignore jobs, guys. Ignore them. No one needs a job necessarily. Communities need people to do certain types of labor No one should have to need a job. You could want a job. You could want to go do anything that you want to do. I think that's great. Pursue that. No one should have to fucking make ends meet by working at a place that fucking sells slop that they hate. You know what I mean? A lot of people's jobs are just, I work at a slop factory that makes slop, and I'm trying to sell the slop to people who do not need the slop. It's all a scam. It's a waste of everyone's time, efficiency, and efforts. We could just be hanging out, enjoying ourselves. Dude, can you imagine? The leisure businesses would fucking explode. If you had housing, healthcare, education, taken care of, people's jobs were optional. You would just fucking, like, everyone would be in hospitality, education, the arts, medicine, stuff people actually need. And they would all be fulfilled, have plenty of stuff to do. You know, we'd still have people who need to do trash. We still need, people to get life skills. So dumb.
Just need the right leadership, and I believe that is me.
Do we need to regulate AI? 60 seconds.
Absolutely. First, I just want to be clear. The National Nurses United is not my father-in-law. Working Families Party is not my father-in-law. The UAW is not my father-in-law. But I also want to speak to the fact that we do need to regulate AI. And so long as we are taking money, the party is taking money from the AI industry, it's not likely to happen. I proposed a plan putting AI under democracy. What does that mean? That means that I want to make sure that legacy internet companies no longer own the means of creating AI. The AI corporations are spun off as public interest corporations, and that at least 50% of their boards are publicly appointed, meaning through the democratic process. I also want real clear guardrails on what AI can and can't do. I want an agency in the government like an FDA for AIs. And
all of that sounds so fucking reasonable. Like, that's seize the means of production. All of that's excellent.
I want to make sure that we pass our terms of agreement. I can say all this because I'm not bought off by the AI companies. You talked about that 2020 regulation. That was a giveaway to the AI industry. So yes, if you want someone who's really effective at giving giveaways to the AI industry, you have your option in this race.
30 seconds.
Well, I'm pleased that my opponent read my deep fake bill to better detect the use of AI, particularly with our children. It was written alongside the National Institute of Standards and Technology.
Dude, that bill is like a decade out of date.
And I am proud that that passed. And you should be supporting it, not attacking it. But that seems to be the only thing and stunt that he can pull while the GOP is supporting his campaign. And
what is this fucking attack line she's on? The GOP actually likes the Muslim leftist? For real? They're going to freak out when he wins.
Look, I worked really hard to make sure that Kamala
This November,
Harris
they're going to freak the fuck out, guys.
Going to get elected, and that Donald Trump would be stopped. And my opponent did nothing.
I don't know what Kamala Harris has to do with AI, but I want to speak to the fact that right now we have a choice. $40 million. We're being outspent 30-1 in this race, 30-1. That money is coming in from AIPAC. Their goal is to make sure that our money is sent abroad to kill other people rather than kept here to invest here. Now, the question you might be asking is, what does it have to do with the question about AI? Government will continue to work for the people who buy off government so long as we allow people to buy off government. It is that simple. And
what a good platform to keep hammering this point.
You're seeing a case in point of that.
This next question is one that I take very seriously. I suspect many of the viewers do as well. The national debt is more than $39 trillion. $39 trillion. Now, the interest on that debt's about $1 trillion a year. CBO says by 2036, it'll be about $2 billion a year. That'll be about 25% of every dollar that comes into the national treasury. What do we do to begin to reduce this burden that will be passed along to your children and likely their children? Would you raise taxes? Would you vow to cut spending? What would you do? 60 seconds.
Dude, fucking Republicans. All they ever want to do is cut stuff from the working class and never talk about taxing the fucking rich.
Look, as everyday Michiganders know, that a budget sheet is about money in and money out. And for a long time, folks on the conservative side want to tell us that it's all about money out. We're spending too much. But then they do two things. They cut taxes for the richest people in society.
True.
And then they cut things like healthcare. And guess what happens? They fight wars that we don't need to fight. So money out goes up, money in goes down, and we run up the national debt. And then Democrats show up, and we're trying to be effective stewards of the national debt. So here's what we need to do. We need to run the play in reverse. How about we end stupid wars we shouldn't be fighting at the behest of foreign governments? How about we start taxing billionaires their wealth so that we can return trillions of dollars to the economy? And how about we invest our money in the things that people actually need, like good education, childcare, good hospitals, and healthcare?
Yes.
Those are the opportunities we have in front of us, so long as we don't allow the same corporations and billionaires to buy our politicians so that they keep doing these ridiculous things.
This man will be a star statesman in fucking 10 years. Like, you're going to see him have some kind of amazing speech or something. He's got to win. This man has to win. He is so important to put in Senate. This is great.
60 seconds.
Our national debt keeps me up for Michiganders, and it is very serious, in part because it is mortgaging the future of our children. And the way in which we get out of our debt and deficit mess is by taxing the growing billionaire class.
Dude, we even have the fucking liberals saying this shit. Look at this. I don't believe her for 1 second that she would actually do that to a satisfying degree. I think she is just saying that because she knows that tax the rich is fucking popular right now. But I mean, that's the truth. You're right, Bradley. The reports are that the Republicans would prefer to run against Abdul el-Sayed, but yeah, they're going to get fucking hammered.
And forcing them to pay their fair share. We are growing our economy, except for it's just with the very, very few who aren't paying their fair share. If you listen to Donald Trump, who my opponent just admitted he didn't do anything to help stop him from getting elected, he wants to do everything for the billionaire class. Donald Trump...
You are literally funded by AIPAC. I'm doing it again. I can't help it.
Israel comes to me in my dreams.
I can't fucking... I have to. It's too much.
Did tax cuts for them while cutting our food assistance and our health care
Palestine!
Yes.
Benefits. It's not acceptable, and it's not
Yes.
working. We can't look at the middle class here in Michigan and force them to keep paying. People can't pay their bills right now. People are underwater. I've had 2 working moms in the last day tell me that. It doesn't work.
30 seconds.
Look, I just want to be clear. I endorsed Vice President Harris. I campaigned for Vice President Harris. I really wanted Vice President Harris to win this race.
Me
now,
too.
ask yourself why we were where we were. Because for too long, our
But
policy
she was awful.
has been wrong on a number of critical issues. And it's been wrong because of the role of special interests in our politics. The same exact special interests who get their way when it comes to our tax system. The same exact special interests that have us fighting stupid wars we shouldn't be fighting. The same special interests who are funding my opponent.
30 seconds for you.
Well, look, leadership is going to get us out of our debt and deficit mess. And as someone who has my finger on the pulse of the needs of the middle class here in Michigan, you and your family, and I have the receipts and the track record of standing up for you when it matters, when 200,000 Michigan jobs were on the line, when General Motors and Chrysler were going to go bankrupt, and I worked on that initiative to save your jobs and those jobs. Look, we can use tax dollars effectively without letting our country go bankrupt.
Here's another question that Amber has for us, and this one kind of goes along with what we're talking about. Here's Amber.
She is unpleasant. It's 2 things, right? Because if she was saying based shit, she wouldn't also sound like that. Her voice could be the same, but she wouldn't sound the same because she wouldn't be doing rehearsed things she doesn't believe that are given to her by her donors. She would be a based, actually cool lady that was like comfortable with herself enough to be honest about the politics. Like, you know, it'd be good. You can have any voice. It's the how you sound is determined a lot by what you say and how you say it, right? But yeah, she has a wretched accent. Just awful.
Social Security is a top issue for many Michiganders. This next question is from Mark Luxford. As a senior, Social Security is a very important issue to me. What is your opinion of the proposal to guarantee adequate funding for this critically important program by raising or better yet, eliminating the income cap for the FICA tax that funds Social Security?
60 seconds, Congressman.
Well, I fully endorse that proposal of eliminating the FICA cap and making sure that folks are paying their fair share. What is going on with Social Security right now is another example of how Donald Trump and the billionaire class believe that they can rob our Social Security trust fund and force the middle class to pay for the crisis that we are going to be in. We can fix this. I have also stood up to Donald Trump today and said, rehire the Social Security workers that you have fired, because my constituents,
It's all jobs.
they're on the phone trying to get access to their disability benefit, their retirement benefit, and no one's picking up. And again, these are programs that folks have paid into. I believe in it. Mike Rogers, Donald Trump, they're going to sell us down the Potomac River.
60 seconds.
I've talked to
Fuck. I did not mean to pause it there, but fuck.
They're gonna sell us down the Potomac River.
What? Did they never, like, test for this shit? Did they never go, like, I don't know, Hayley Stevens, I don't know if this is gonna work on TV. Like, she's too dorky and fake at the same time. You have to pick. If you're fake, you better be not dorky too. Unless you're doing a comedy bit. God, if she wins, and imagine she's actually in Senate someday, like, boy, SNL is gonna go crazy whenever she inevitably gets her moment. Holy shit.
so many seniors who are struggling. They're struggling because they paid their home off 30 years ago, but the property tax is getting too high. Their premium on their Medicare is unaffordable, and their Social Security just doesn't cut it. And they're worried they might lose that Social Security. So yes, absolutely, we have to lift the cap. It would make Social Security sustainable, but we've got to go further. I think we need to be eliminating the premiums, the copays, and the deductibles on Medicare, and we need to make Medicare fully sustainable by extending it to everybody.
True.
Medicare for all would do exactly that. On top of that, I think we need to be freezing property tax for seniors. If you paid off your home, at some point, we can't expect you to keep up with property taxes that are going up. Now, how do we pay
Damn, that is such a sneaky way to get the boomer vote.
for that? Well, again, if we tax billionaires their wealth, if we were to invest in the Department of Education so that we're paying centrally for public schools in an equitable way, there are a lot of opportunities for us to lift the burden off of seniors who've done their job. They've worked extra hard. They deserve a dignified retirement, and we've got to be thinking about how to offer them that.
Congressman, 30 seconds.
They are bankrupting the Social Security Trust Fund. It is unconscionable and wrong, and Michigan is going to have a choice about who it sends to the United States Senate to do something.
Abdul.
Who's got the vision long-term for a 6-year term to tackle a tough issue.
I'd like, can you get more? You can continue to be a senator just forever, right? Oh, just continue to do that. He should, I mean, can Abdul run for president someday? Because he really ought to be on a stage somewhere in national press.
And that is what I have done over and over again. I have a plan for Social Security, a plan to be able to work across the aisle if need be, and most importantly, stand up to Donald Trump and Elon Musk in this moment.
30 seconds.
Look, I'm here to serve you. I'm somebody who worked in the bowels of city and county government. Those are the kind of jobs where you can't dodge tough issues. You got to show up Monday through Friday and Saturday and Sunday too. You've got to make sure people get the services that they need and deserve. And I know in places like DC, they look down on people who work in local government. But I also think that we need that viewpoint in the U.S. Senate right now. We also need the viewpoint of a doctor, somebody who understands what it's like to make sure that you look people in the eye and deliver for them. And I think we haven't had that viewpoint, frankly, in a Democrat since 1969. I aim to offer that.
This is going to be our final question. We're going to limit this answer to 45 seconds. There will be a rebuttal, but 45 seconds on the main question. The current economic tensions with China have created concerns that range from cheap electric vehicles being flooded into some international markets.
Talking about China?
To military concerns over the buildup of China's armed forces and the dependence of our own military on Chinese goods and services. Should we be working to lessen our dependence on China? And how should we deal with a major competitor as well as a major trading partner? 45.
What? We should just live on Earth harmoniously together.
Seconds.
My dad moved to this country to learn to make cars, and he believed in this place. He immigrated from Egypt, the place where that was not possible. And he chose to come here because this was a place where innovation, ingenuity, those were unleashed. We had the mighty UAW who was empowered to make the cars that my dad would design. The challenge, of course, is that corporatism has gotten in the way. I remember when my dad came home in 1996 and said, a company that's more interested in finance than it is in engineering is not going to be a car company very long. Fast forward, 2008, there we were. I think we need to make sure our corporations think long-term. I think we need to make sure that we are using trade as an effective way to empower and protect our manufacturing capacity. And then I think we need to unleash ingenuity by investing in research and development for the future. This needs to continue to be the most innovative place, and Donald Trump has sold that way far away.
45 seconds.
Well, to every engineer watching tonight, I know how a CNC machine works and a robotic welder. I am Michigan's manufacturing geek, and nothing.
I am Michigan's manufacturing geek is so weird. Why would you? I don't know. It makes exclusive that you're the only guy in the manufacturing. I don't know. Pretty obvious that's not true. Why would you say that? You can just say you're one of them.
Nothing is motivating me more than standing up
so
for
fake,
our
right?
manufacturing sector and our jobs, and that means taking on China. Look, China. I've got the bill. One I also did with Senator Slotkin. No Chinese Cars Act.
What? I thought we loved free market capitalism. What if they're better? I should be able to get a better thing. I hate Alyssa Slotkin. She's bad.
We have to stop these guys from coming in to our market, lowering costs.
Lowering costs? I can't believe they're lowering costs. What?
Up the wazoo that only feeds their Communist Party. That's not
what?
That's not going to work for us in Michigan. We can build affordable cars here in Michigan without having the Chinese come in and eat our lunch. Not on my watch.
I think, if you want to be better, then be better. You know?
30 seconds.
There's a reason that the UAW has endorsed me in this race. And they endorsed me in this race because I understand that the biggest challenge we have right now, the thing that is throttling our ingenuity, is the fact that our corporations are a lot more interested in a quarterly bottom line than they are in the long-term sustainability of manufacturing. I think we need to think differently. That means standing up to Wall Street, not taking their money to run your campaigns. And at the end of the day, the reason I believe in money out of politics, then money in your pocket and Medicare for all, is because as long as we're taking money from those corporations, we are not going to regulate them.
30 seconds.
Look, I have taken on Vladimir Putin when...
Whoa. One more time, please.
30 seconds.
Look, I have taken on Vladimir Putin when...
Vladimir Putin? Good shit right there. We could clip that.
And they endorsed me in the...
Taken on Vladimir Putin when he stole my constituent, Paul Whelan, and held him in a Russian prison for 5.5 years. I am taking on China now and standing up for our jobs and not letting them flood our markets through the north or the south. Their technology cannot come in here. This is about our...
Dog, she sounds like some of my least favorite aunts. Like I was saying earlier, she just bad vibes at the function. You know, oh, that's mom's friend's friend. You know what I mean? Oh, God, no.
Way of life in Michigan. This is squarely why I am running for U.S. Senate, to articulate this and defend it and protect it at the lawmaking table.
I don't understand the big free market capitalist people making this argument. It's actually crazy.
Time to wrap up this debate, if you can believe it already. You've done a great job in keeping within your time frame. I'll ask you to stay at 60 seconds with closing statements, beginning with you.
We just celebrated our 250th anniversary. I know what my life would have been without the opportunity to be born here. I saw that firsthand.
Born here? Oh, shit. President Abdul El-Sayed incoming.
And in summers in Egypt. I know what America can do for somebody. I also knew that 15 miles away, there were kids who never got that same opportunity. We have to build an America that can be what it was for me, for all of her kids. And that means we've got to take on the ways that corporate greed have gotten in the way. We need to stand with working people, stand with unions.
Love it.
We need to take on oligopolies and billionaires.
Yes.
We need to guarantee health care through Medicare for all. Across my time touring this state, town hall after town hall, you could be in a church in Detroit, you can be in a living room in Lansing, a VFW hall in Escanaba. People say the same things. It just shouldn't be this hard. Shouldn't be this hard to afford your groceries. Shouldn't be this hard to pay your rent. Shouldn't be this hard to see a doctor in the richest, most powerful country in the world. And that means we've got to build a movement of people to get money out of politics, put money in your pocket, and pass Medicare for all. I hope that you'll join us in building that movement. It's the many versus the money.
Get a yard sign. Do it. Donate to Abdul al-Sayed's campaign. Go canvass. Go tell somebody. Indoctrinate your parents and your loved ones.
Congresswoman, 60 seconds.
I am fed up and fired up. I am
Fuck.
fed up with Michiganders getting screwed over by
I'm fed up and fired up. There's your bumper sticker. God damn it. I just can't deal with that.
bad policies that are coming down from the Trump
shit.
administration that do not understand the first thing about us and that are raising our costs and impacting our way of life and coming for our jobs. I am fired up, though, to be your next U.S. Senator. I am fired up to lead for us on day one and when it matters and to be in this fight alongside you and your families, all 83
Did a high school football coach write this?
counties in this incredible state of ours, the largest state
Pejorative.
geographically east of the Mississippi, deserves its workhorse.
Did a bad high school football coach write this?
And that is me. That is why I am on this campaign trail, listening to you, hearing you, and leading in that order. That is my ethos. That is why I am running. Let's go beat Mike Rogers, send him back to Florida a second time, and make sure that Michigan shines at the lawmaking table.
Candidates, thank you both for being here. I know it takes a lot of time and effort to do it. I know you know how much I appreciate it. I just want to make sure I say it publicly to both of you. I want to thank Amber and all of my colleagues here at Wood TV, our corporate staff who has been doing a great job and helping us from the get.
All right. Wonderful. Abdul al-Sayed crushed that. If you think Hayley Stevens did a good job, I'd really like to know why. Like, what did you see in that performance that you were like, oh, fuck yeah. Hayley Stevens, my gal. Maybe in a room with someone like Alyssa Slotkin, I would choose her. You know, could be. Like, you'd have to give me some shit libs. Like, I'd vote for her over Chuck Schumer. How about that? She could crush against Chuck. That was, this is a big pick-me-up, in my opinion. He's polling really well, by the way. He seems to be the front runner. Multiple polls are showing him leading in Michigan. And this, I think, will only increase. It was a great experience. This is very Mom Donnie, like everyone's saying that. Like he is just having such good on-brand performances. They are, clipping them in a good way. They are, we're finally playing the fucking game how we should have been playing all along. We have been saying that the game should be different. We should change the rules to the game. And they're like, no, we're playing this way. And we're like, fine, we'll just fucking win at the game you want to play, and then we'll fucking change it after. And so that's what we have to do. And we will. We're going to have a based-ass U.S. senator. Maybe the most based one. And if AOC runs for Chuck's spot, that's cool too. But I think, dare I say, maybe president. She could just use the next 2 years to be senator, though. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Looking forward to it, though. It's going to be a good time. Look forward to a lot of wins. Get involved.